Hi, it's me, Dork in the Road, the guy who infamously took 80 pounds of gear on his first BDR trip 2 years ago. Our friend Ben at MotoCampNerd has issued a challenge. He has challenged me to go camping with just the gear that's in this 18-liter Rogue dry bag. So inside this bag is a full shelter and cooking system that I'm gonna use on my next moto camping trip. This is so much smaller than anything I've ever used. Fortunately, his challenge came with a little bit of help, and so we worked together to put together this kit of, he was calling it ultralight, but honestly it's just ultra small packing, which is far more of a priority for us moto campers than it is for people backpacking where you have to carry the weight on your back. But inside this bag is tent, a quilt, a sleeping pad, my jet boil, and a pillow, as well as a pump, the ultimate luxury, to fill up the sleeping pad. It all fits right here, the size of a small backpack. So today I'm gonna walk you through the gear. I wanna show you the gear. Some of it is surprisingly inexpensive, particularly the tent. And then the next video will be us camping using this gear, trying to survive. Taking a notoriously luxurious camper, someone who likes to bring all the comforts of home camping, and a huge overpacker, that's me, out with the ultralight, ultra small setup. So let me show you the gear. I don't think you should eat that blackberry. Not great for you. This is the biggest thing in the kit. This is the Featherstone quilt. I actually have a quilt that's smaller than this, a couple of them, but this is a little bit more inexpensive quilt. So this is the Featherstone quilt I'm gonna use on this trip coming up. I'll link all this stuff in the description for you if you wanna check it out. And obviously, thanks to MotoCampNerd for sponsoring this video and for sending out the challenge. He's the reason I'm doing this. What's this? This, and it even packs smaller than it looks right now. That's my tent. This is the Six Moon Designs Lunar Solo tent. And honestly, in a stuff sack, I could get this even smaller. I just don't have a stuff sack to put it in. I didn't need one, but this is a very small packing one-person tent. Kind of a unique design. It's not freestanding. I'll show it to you when I set it up. You can use a trekking pole with that setup, which is why it doesn't come with a pole, but this is a pole. And MotoCampNerd sells the whole kit for this tent, so you get the pole and the stakes and everything you need all in one. Obviously, stakes. And you can buy a Tyvek sheet, an inexpensive ground covering that's gonna prevent moisture from getting through, specifically cut for the Six Moon Designs tent. Or you could just go buy some Tyvek, but if you don't wanna bother, you can just buy this Tyvek sheet. As a ground cloth, this is the Nemo Tensor all-season sleeping pad. Very small, but this is still a 3.5-inch thick pad, and it's only $200, which is not the cheapest sleeping pad on the planet, but it's not crazy expensive for a ultralight backpacking sleeping pad. So another great option if you're trying to save space in your bag, smaller sleeping pad like this, but I cannot give up comfort. I'm too heavy, my back's too bad, I'm too old, so I always err on the side of bigger sleeping pads, but this one seems to have everything I like in a much smaller package, so we're gonna find out. And we're still in the bag. It's like a clown car over here. My full jet boil setup fits in the bottom of that with everything else. This is my Sea to Summit Aeros pillow, inflatable obviously, and the piece de resistance. Look at this thing. This is a pump to fill up your air mattresses from Flextail. I have the inflation sack, I could use that, but I'm lazy and I like to use a pump, and it seemed like a great opportunity to show off this super small ultralight piece of gear. This thing's a lifesaver and totally worth having in your pack, so we're gonna use this to fill up the air mattress. Let me show you what this gear looks like in action, or at least all set up, because I'm not gonna sleep in it here tonight, as far as you know. The ground. This is a very thin sheet of fiber. Holy crap, man. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to move, bud. I'm gonna need you to move, bud.
Yeah, this one. Here's the front one we're going to use.
This is the Six Moon Designs Lunar Solo backpacking tent. The tent itself will run you $260. It weighs 26 ounces, has a 20 denier canopy and a 40 denier floor, 6-inch bathtub bottom, 6-inch mesh lining all the way around for ventilation, 26 square feet of living space, and a peak height of 49 inches. So you can sit up in there, change your clothes, do what you have to do. Surprisingly roomy for a tent that packs down this small. This thing seems like it's at least as roomy as my Tiger Wall UL2, and it's pretty quick. That was pretty fast, even though it was my first time. So let's get the air mattress ready to go and throw it in there. So it comes with an inflation sack should you choose to use it. It doesn't take up any extra space. I'm not going to use it today because I want to use this flex tail pump because it's funny to me that it even exists. Double valve system here on the Nemo, so we're going to put the innie valve in. There we go. And I'm just going to use the pump and inflate this bad boy. So it comes with different nozzles on the pump that you can use. This is the one that goes well with this mattress, at least the last time I used it, and power button. So it's not fast. Well, it's not that slow. It's almost done. Fun little accessory. I'll put it in my pocket so I don't lose it. And the next piece of this kit is the quilt, which I'll put on before I put it in the tent so you can get a look at it. So you guys know that over the course of the last year or two, I pretty much completely switched to quilts for summer camping because they just take up so much less space. And honestly, they work in the winter too, but pretty simple design. There's just no bottom to it. And that's by design because the bottom of your sleeping bag doesn't do anything anyway because all the insulation just gets smashed. So they just eliminate that to save space and you just lay directly on top of your sleeping pad. These things work multiple ways. So like this, it's kind of a mummy bag, right? You can see that. You gotta cinch up the bottom if you want it to be more like a sleeping bag. And it's got these buckles which you can just use like this and lay on top of your sleeping pad inside your bag. I like a little bit more room than that, so unbuckle the top two is what I like to do. See how it kind of goes, and then so put this one, this is your top one. So just make sure your buckles are on top of the pad. And the other one, if I want to be all the way on the bag, is going to go here-ish. Looks like it goes like this. That's not helpful. The other thing I didn't mention about this sleeping pad is it's got an R value, ridiculously high R value, so we can use it all year. It's better than my more expensive pads. And it packs smaller. Kind of a good deal. But you just clip this on, see? Like this. And then your legs just sit on top. You just unclip one side, climb in, put your feet down in the foot box, buckle that back down, and you're quite warm and toasty all night. So let's get this in the tent.
Plenty of room, plenty of room.
This pillow came in the very first box of stuff MotoCampNerd ever sent me years ago. Very cool for how much pillow you get for how small it packs up. Ta-da! I'm gonna guess I don't need to demonstrate how the jet boil works, but this is my cooking and coffee setup. I got a whole review on that I'll link for you. You can check it out if you want more on this, but just know it was in that bag. Yeah, it packs all small or whatever. Does it matter if a grown man can't sleep inside? Well, I'll do you one better. I will put an overgrown man inside and show you just how roomy it is. No shoes in the new tent. Okay, so the Tyvek is definitely crinkly underneath you. You gotta get used to that. The pad doesn't actually make a lot of noise. I was worried it would. But there is plenty of room. And because this thing has like a pup tent shape, there's a triangle of space behind me for gear or my bags or whatever. And this whole vestibule is closable and you can put your gear in here and keep it out of the weather. Now, important to mention, this tent doesn't come seam sealed, but MotoCampNerd sells a kit where you get the tent, seam sealer, the pole, and the stakes, and the ground sheet all at once, so you don't have to worry about finding that stuff. And you can order it from them all at once. So I like this tent, basic setup. It's a little bit different, not freestanding. It's not a bike packing tent, but because the pole system is kind of your choice, you could even not take a pole and just find a stick in the woods. That would work. I like this little pole. It packs down pretty small. It's a great way to get into a smaller packing tent for motorcycling without spending $400 or $500 on a bike packing tent. So I'm excited to get out and put it to the test, and I'm hoping to do that this weekend. So I'll link all of this gear in the description for you so you can check it out. Obviously, MotoCampNerd sent me that stuff. He sponsored this video, so you know, there's some bias there probably, but I just think it's good small packing gear that's worth considering. And I had not seen this type of tent before, and I think, like I said, it's a great alternative to a bike packing tent if you don't want to spend that much money. But we're gonna get out and camp in this stuff real soon. Keep an eye out for that video. Should be the next video or the one after that, hopefully. For now, and as always, from me and from Chewy here, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you, and please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you.
Excellent!
I'm comfy. I might take a nap in here. Good night, Chewy. Hmm.